Hello everybody, welcome to the next episode of Kerbal Space Program .25. So in the previous episode, we had a little Moho land exploration mission, managed to get a bunch of science from there, and we actually had enough fuel to escape Moho and get back into space and do a little rendezvous, but we discovered that we don't have quite enough fuel to get back to Kerbin again. We're short by about 1,000 delta V. We had about 1,900, it's going to take something around 2,000 2,500, maybe close to 3,000. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to build a refueling vessel to send out there to Moho, redock with the ship, and we're going to just have to refuel all the parts up again. But before we do that, I think it would be a good idea to check just how much fuel we actually need. How much total fuel are we going to need to get this mission done? Let's go back to our ship. So we are going to basically want to refuel this entire tank plus this tank. Now these two are pretty much fueled up already. So this one holds 1,400 basically liquid fuel, and this one holds about half that, 720. So I figure if we can get an orange tank up here, that'll be kind of our payload. If we can get an orange tank up here in orbit next to it, connected to the top, that'll be enough fuel with some to spare to fill up these two tanks. Now I'd feel pretty good if we can get this one filled up, but if we can get about half or even more, if we can get this whole thing filled up, that'd be ideal obviously, but you know, who knows. It might cost a little extra fuel to get out here, but I'm planning on using the same exact lifter that took this thing here to Moho. And instead of having this big payload though, it's just going to be an orange tank, a couple solar panels, a probe, and maybe some RCS just to do the docking. So I think that'll be definitely possible, if not plausible. So yes, I just wanted to confirm that an orange tank would be, you know, pretty much sufficient. So we'll go back to the Space Center, and we'll just see what we can come up with here. I've already taken the lifter and I've dropped it into the sub-assembly, which is just such a good thing. If you have like a favorite lifter of yours, you could just drop it right into the sub-assembly and use it. But anyway, we got to start over basically. I'm thinking about using one of these rather large probe units here. And let's see, we'll just go ahead and slap on one of these things on the top just so we can get a docking port. There we are. So this way when we get out there we can both hitch them both together, get that fueling going. Sorry if I keep clearing my throat, I apologize. Always seems to be something. Alright. So, you know, no messing around. There it is. There's our orange tank. That's what we're going to take up there with us, but also I'm going to just go ahead and connect up one of these battery banks. Mass is 0.05. It's pretty heavy, but let's see, you know, I might just stick a couple batteries around the outside. We don't need that much power because we're only going to Moho, and I don't foresee us having any major sort of power issues because the sun is definitely a shining, and I kind of want to save on mass as much as possible. So we'll go ahead and stick some photovoltaics on there also. We will need those for sure. And just in case something terrible happens, I'll strap on a set of these side ones somewhere. Just in case we lose these panels or some disaster, we forget to put them out. So that'll work. Next. Definitely going to want some RCS, so we'll come over here and grab the monopropellant tanks. We'll grab 6 of them. Kind of stick them right around the middle. So we'll turn our center of mass on, this way we can see where to put our thrusters, because it is important to position these RCS thrusters basically equidistant from the center of mass, otherwise you'll be basically pushing the ship unevenly. So we'll put a set over here, and we'll just come down here and put a set down there. That looks about even, right? Yeah, we'll go with yes on that. This way we can maneuver. Very good, very good. Let me think. Should we get more monopropellant? Nah, that should do us. That should be just fine. I don't plan on using it, you know, except for the docking. That's about it. Now, this thing, I would go ahead and just say, you know, let's just stick a monopropellant, no, let's just stick this thing on it, but I never like doing it that way. It always just seems wrong. I don't know. So that's why I always use these little side thingies here. So what I'm actually going to do is put these kind of towards the bottom, like that. We can reposition these right there. And let's go ahead and attach in our usual fashion, just a little extra fuel. Like that. And we'll grab our atomic engines, which are right here. And we will also strap on some fuel lines going from the center out. That way we take from the center, we can dump it into these tanks here, and of course we will also strut it up. It's always good to strut things up, otherwise things start to bend. It becomes unstable, it's no good, but that's good. There we are. So this is basically going to get us there. Oh, you know what? We can't forget to do that. Let's just see what that does for our center of mass. It lowers it a lot, actually. So we're just going to take this and we're going to lower that, basically, maybe to where these solar panels are. Yeah. Just to maintain some sort of balance here. There we go. Alright, so I'm just trying to think if we need anything else on this thing. I'm not really worried too much about putting science on it because we've basically gotten the science, and this thing's not coming back home, that's for sure. It's just, its only job is to get out there and get back home. But we do want to stick on here the engineering system. We'll just slap it on there. Just a circuit board on the side of the rocket there. So as is, this thing has a whopping 11,000 meters per second so far. This thing could take us far. It could take us a long way, but I don't really want to use, I'm going to try to avoid using this basically at all until we basically are near Moho. I'm going to use this basically to correct any orbital changes we need to make to line up with the guys out there, and basically then just the rest of the fuel will go to them. So that's basically it. Got the probe, got the solar panels, got the power, got the RCS, got the engines to maneuver. So next we just have to, let's see, I'm trying to think, because in our original design we ran out of fuel as we were braking, and that's what killed us. So I almost want to add an extra stage on here just to do some heavy braking that, you know, we kind of needed to do before, but we couldn't do it. So let's see. I don't want to use another orange just because that just, I don't want it to get too big. We'll do that, and then maybe we'll do, where's the half? Here we go. And we'll throw on there, let's see what's more efficient. The mainsail efficiency in vacuum is 360, whereas the Poodle engine is 370. I think we'll throw a Poodle on there. And again, this stage is just to do some of the braking around Moho, just to slow down enough to get us into that orbit. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be too heavy or too tall. It's already pretty darn tall. In fact, I don't really like it that much. Let's just see what happens. We'll go to the subassembly, the Moho Heavy Lifter. It's going to take a second. There it is. Wow. Yeah, this thing is tall. Let's check. Wow, total delta V is 20,000. Do we even need... Yes, we do. We actually, I think we do. Well, let me think though, because let's do some experimenting. Let's take this off. Still 20,000. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that. Yeah, I think we're gonna be okay because that's. It took about 1,600 was the one we had, and we were able to get there and land. There's still 1,000 left, so maybe we don't even need this stage in here, to be honest with you. Let's just see what happens. If we just hold it aside for a sec. Wow, we still have 20,000. I'm not sure how that works out that way. You know, this game, you know, Delta V is funny. Like, you might think we just lost like a bunch of fuel, but we've kept it basically. I think we're gonna be okay with just this. And here's my justification. Our last ship had 16,000 meters per second Delta V, which was able to get us all the way to Moho in a stable orbit, land, blast off, get back, and we still have 1,900 left. So we have more than that, which means that, and we don't have to land on it, so that means we're going to have a lot of fuel left over to give to the guys. Plus, I have a feeling this thing's way lighter, so that means that these other tanks and stuff here are going to go a lot longer. That's my justification anyways. I don't know if that's correct or not. I mean, I see bigger number here. That just says to me, you know, big success. I think we've got it. So I'm going to just assume that that's true. And, oh look, our struts are still here. Let's just try to strut this up a little bit, because I'm just worried about it breaking apart and horrible things happening. Maybe that's what you guys like to see, though. I don't know. Some people love Kerbal videos where destruction happens all the time, but I don't know. I'm not one of those players that likes things to blow up all the time. I kind of would rather have things work. But although I do see the fun in making stuff explode, trust me, believe me, it is definitely entertaining. Alright, so this will be called the Moho Refueler. Yes, very exciting name. The Moho Refueler. It's very stoic, very just straight to the point, all business. Yes. Now, it just did do a bit of bouncing. I might just, let me see if I connect a couple more of these. I don't know if this is going to help or not, or make things worse, but I know we got to do that for every side, don't we? Just to make things a little more stable on the launch pad. I'll feel a little better about it. Maybe it won't bounce as much. And just, I think those are all in here still. Just take a look, see. Wow, there's so many little things in this staging. This staging drove me nuts. I remember making this. I was just like, why is this so insane? And I guess, you know, I didn't even check. Well, technically we did check. I don't think any buildings got destroyed from our last launch, so I'm guessing that the parachutes do really work. They probably do prevent the KSC from exploding, so that's quite good. Alright, action groups. Let's get these solar panels to be custom 1. Toggle the panels. I think that's about all we need. Nothing really else that we're going to need to do. I always just feel like I'm forgetting something. Like I'm going to get all the way out there and this is not going to work. Let's just do one more last check. We have the docking port. That's big. That's key. We've got the engineer. It's probed. It's SAS'd. It has solar. It's got solar over here. Let's do a little more solar. And we have engines. That's always good. Which will ignite after this thing decouples. We'll get those engines going. It's got RCS. It's balanced, sort of, mainly. It's got RCS propellant tanks. It's got 2 engines, fuel lines going from the inside out. We've got all this stuff which we know already works. I think we're going to be okay. Yeah. Alright, let's take this baby to the launch pad. I always get this trepidation, though, before launching such huge vehicles that it's going to be a disaster, but I think we're going to be okay. I'm not too worried about it. It's taking a little bit to load in here because it's such a massive piece of machinery. Let's see if it bounces as much. Ooh, it still does a little bit, but it's not as bad as the other one was. The other one bounced a whole lot. But here we are on the launch pad with our refueler craft ready to get these guys home. An expensive launch, definitely, but we have the funds because we're quite rich. Hopefully. Alright, let's get this thing going in 3, 2, 1. Oh, wow, there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna say this thing is definitely lighter than our other craft was. Which is good, because that means that our fuel is gonna go a lot longer. It's gonna last us a lot longer. Look at this monstrosity. It's insanity. Total insanity. Well, look, you guys have seen this launch already, so I'm not going to show it again. Basically what I'll do is I'll do a little cut and wait till we're in orbit, and then we'll take it from there. So see you in orbit. And, you know, since I like you guys, I'm going to show you that awesome decoupling one more time. So here we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Awesome. Alright, gonna cut for real this time. Alright, one more stage separation. Here we go. Oh yeah. That is freaking cool. So we're almost there, actually. We're almost in orbit. Maybe I'll just leave it here. You guys want to watch, right? I mean, launches are cool. And this thing looks cool. And you know, it's definitely, I'm finding, it's definitely easier to get this thing into orbit. It's having less of a hard time pushing its way up there. I'm finding that the stages are releasing, you know, getting to be released later. It's not quite, well, yeah, it's just working out, basically. Definitely working out. Or working and twerking, as I sometimes say, to be funny. Working and twerking, baby. Alright, I'll shut up now. So we're almost there. We'll have to 78. Basically going to push this thing full on to the horizon. The rest of the trip's going to be just smooth sailing, basically. Pretty much there. There we go. So we'll go ahead, do the maneuver, get this thing into orbit. There we go. And we have a lot of debris hanging out around 100 meters above Kerbal. Lots of debris. All over the place, actually. There's probably some debris that's... What were those two boosters that we left last time? I feel like should be in some kind of crazy orbit. Maybe these? I'm not sure. They're somewhere. We got a lot of debris. Got a little bit of a Kessler syndrome going on, but that's alright. So we just got to turn this spacecraft over. And this is a lot easier to turn, too, than the other one was. Definitely. Alright. And we're just at the mark, so we don't have to burn for about 14 seconds. That's not too bad at all. So just wait till we get to that point. As we go sailing across Kerbal. Very nice. Very, very nice. Coming up on our burn very soon. There it is. Light these babies up. Just to complete the orbit. That looks cool. Alright, so that's basically us. Ooh, we did a little, overextended a little bit, but that's alright. Alright, so I tell you what, I think we'll end the episode here because we are now in a stable parking orbit. So the next episode what we're going to do is line up the phase angles once again, and I'll hopefully try to do it a little better this time. Maybe we'll aim for something like 251.9. This way, by the time we get to the node, the phase angle won't be so expired, basically. Because, you know, we don't want to get bitten by that mistake again. But anyways, we'll wait for next time to deal with that, so I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.